All right, I got through. Hey, good morning, Alexey Ots, Raptor Freak here. Trying to get a Wednesday watch along together here. Having different issues. Thought I got some new technology hooked up and figured out so that I could make this work, but it's not working exactly right yet. So we're gonna try and do it anyways, guys. I'm just you know fiddling around with different stuff to see if I can try and make it work. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I actually got this stream open. The other stream for the room wouldn't open for different reasons. I don't know why. Let me see what's up. Let me see if I can do this right. There, that one. Confirm and go live. Let me see what's going on here. Tom Duke saying VC actually had COVID and his career a bit earlier than he planned. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense from what I heard. All right. I don't know if this is going to work exactly right the way I wanted it to. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out as far as, yeah, okay, that's not going to work with that. All right, we're just going to watch it from here then, I guess. It's not ideal, but whatever. Get this closer. And we'll get real close as far as we can. I know there's a bit of a glare. Man, this is not going to work right. Oh, well, this may be a big fail today, but we'll try and do our best. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it up. This is about an hour and 43 minutes. This is Eastern Conference Semifinals 2001. Philadelphia, Toronto, game one. And this is actually a little bit into the game already. The Raptors are up 11 till 10 at this point. There's Tyrone Hill. Tyrone Hill. He owed Charles Oakley some money, and he beat him up one time because he owed him some gambling money. So that's pretty interesting. You can hear Marv Albert commentary. Marv Albert is he's got a notorious past of backbiting and a sex assault case that happened to him, but still he still works for MSG network and is still involved in the NBA, even though like 30 years ago he was caught cheating on his wife, biting into this lady's back. She had bite marks on the back of her back, and she's like, yeah, he bit me. He's into it. He's kinky. Marv Albert. What a weird freak. And there's Doug Collins, of course. Doug Collins was one of the first coaches of Michael Jordan very earlier in his career in Chicago. There's Allen Iverson, the answer. You know, this series is a little bit similar to what we're about to go into. The two most important players of the Philadelphia 76ers at this time was Allen Iverson and Dikembe Mutombo. So it's like they had a good center and they had a good little guy. And this is kind of similar to what the Sixers have right now with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. Notice I did not say James Harden. But yeah, you can see the Raptors are wearing purple headbands. In this series, they wore them as a sign of unity and show that they wouldn't give up. It's something that Jerome Williams is wearing all year already. And then at this point, when they're in the playoffs, Vince and Morris Peterson started wearing them also. And then Chris Childs and a couple of the other Raptors were also wearing them at certain times. Wow, that's a nice dunk. Yeah, okay, some people are on my old stream. Yeah, I can't get it to work, Raymond. So hopefully if there's anybody there, they can just come in here. I'm having major technical difficulties. I'm trying to match up StreamYard with YouTube so I can have a nice little box with me in the corner and watching it without all this glare and stuff like that. Thanks, Raymond. I appreciate that. But it's not working. It's not working right. I had it working yesterday, but it's not working today, which sucks. Pitto's here. Memories of what used to be. Yes. I love this game because, yeah, thanks for coming in, guys. So, yeah, we got Eric Snow dribbling the ball. If you guys know Eric Snow, he was teamed up with Sean Respert. They were the fire and ice combo in college. That's a shot clock violation by Philadelphia right there. There's their coach, Larry Brown, a coaching legend. Great coach. Coached the Indiana Pacers, San Antonio Spurs, Atlanta Hawks. Coached so many different teams in the NBA. Larry Brown was a legend. And Iverson, look at Iverson. What a Mac. What a badass. This dude, he was so little and so talented. Really talented dude. Really like that Allen Iverson. Not going to lie. I'm just going to turn them down a little bit. We don't need to hear them really because they're just going to sound like noise. Marv Albert is a freak, as I put it earlier. All right, Iverson off the rebound, bringing it up the court. Nice shot. He misses. Rebound by, looks like Mutombo. Yeah. What can you do about that? Mutombo's going to do that. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that dude, listen, I think Dikembe Mutombo doesn't get as much due as he should get as far as who he was because he was a defensive-oriented kind of player and not really a scorer. But this guy was so dominant in different ways, whether it was his shot blocking, his rebounding. I mean, he was getting like 20 rebound games like pretty regularly. So I don't know if there's a way I can make this look better. I'm sorry about the glare, guys. I had this all set up perfect yesterday on StreamYard, but StreamYard's not connecting to YouTube correctly, and now YouTube doesn't want to do it right. All right, Tom Duke. No. I know it's bullshit. This is all a work in progress. It'll get better and better. Trust me, as I figure out technology. It's just me not figuring out technology fast enough. You should see Matt Geiger's out there. Matt Geiger is this big, white, bald dude. Matt Geiger. He's so weird. I saw him once in Ybor City. Like, I was down there partying in Ybor City, and Matt Geiger was standing on a street corner, and he's really tall and really goofy looking. And, you still wouldn't want to fight him. Like, if you see him in Ybor City and you're drunk, don't try and fight Matt Geiger. It's pretty smart. Oh, you're doing the Mutombo? No. So good. Oh, man. Yeah, once again, I apologize for how my setup is this morning. I had it a lot more professional. I had even like onlay screens with like a title screen and everything. And it just is not working this morning. Like I don't know, YouTube had an outage yesterday where there were all kinds of problems happening for the app and the site itself, where people weren't able to access a lot of things. So maybe they're still trying to fix some stuff. But I'm just glad I got on here anyway. All right, let's just watch the game a bit. Yeah, Iverson can fill it up. This is an interesting game. This game happened on May the 5th, 2001. This is game one of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Toronto, Philadelphia, they had the home court advantage, much like this series we're about to start. And we came in there and beat them in the first game. We're going to win this game that we're watching right now. First of all, sorry to ruin it, everybody. No cliffhanger here. But, there's that looks like Antonio Davis. Really good player for us, Davis was. But yeah, this was a great series. A series we did end up losing finally when Vince went to his graduation at UNC. He went and got his diploma on the same day of a game and tried to jet in and play in the game later that afternoon. And he missed a big shot at the end of that last game, just wide to the left. And that was a tough one. And a lot of people question whether Vince should have gone to his graduation that day or not. That was a distraction, but he always held this is more important. To me, a lot of things that Vince thought in his life were more important than the Raptors. And that was one of the problems I had with him. He prioritized so many other things over being a Raptor and trying to win as a Raptor. And that's one of the reasons why I don't respect the guy as much. I mean, I understand education's important. You need to go get your diploma. But listen, man, you can go do this in your own kind of way and stuff like that. And who the fuck has a graduation on a Sunday, in the Sunday morning? That's the thing that bugged me too. Is like usually people are going to get graduated on a Saturday. So why the fuck was he getting his paper on a Sunday morning so that he had to fly and play a game later that day? That's one of the things I never understood. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Tom, it's just the trials and tribulations of being on YouTube because it's going to be screwy at times. So let's keep watching here. Look at that. Vince hunting down the ball. He still didn't get it back. It's their ball. There's Geiger. Look at Geiger's goofy looking face, man. What a goofy guy. He kind of looks like he needs, like if he had like that Wishnick troll hair, You know, the trolls, like you could like spin them on your pencil with the hair. Yeah, that's what he kind of looks like to me. All right, Vince has got the ball operating on the side. Look at that step back dribble and then shoot. You know who that reminds me of when somebody does something like that nowadays? That reminds me of Gary Trent Jr. That little dribble step to the side, get some room, and then just elevate and shoot. That is Gary Trent Jr. right there. Vince Carter doing something that makes me think of Gary. All right, let's see. Iverson with the ball. He's trying to do something. Oh, look at that. He made a shot. He kind of did a fake up, and then he went around the Raptor defender, and he made it. That's really good. Okay, Alvin Williams bringing the ball up the court. We love to see A-Dub, Boogie Williams. Boogie Williams. That's a Philadelphia matchup right there when you have Alvin Williams against Allen Iverson. Okay, Vince operating. Vince, look at that. Look at that. That's a teardrop. That's similar to what Gary Trent Jr. does. Once again, there's Oakley. Oakley missed. Oakley's a badass. Like I said, there was an underlying conflict in this game while this series is going on. Charles Oakley and Tyrone Hill are good friends. You can see Aaron Mackey guarding him there, but Tyrone Hill would be guarding Charles a lot in this series because he was the power forward for the Sixers. And what happened was they gambled. They played a lot of cards together. Like Michael Jordan was in that group. A lot of these guys played cards together. And Tyrone Hill owed a lot of money to Charles Oakley during this series. And he told Tyrone, I'm going to take it out on you, motherfucker. He's like, I'm going to beat you up during this game, these games we're playing. And he did. He beat on Tyrone Hill pretty good during this series because he owed him money at the poker table. Oh, my gosh. Pitto's saying, for me, it was more of a team distraction. Yeah, it was a distraction to the team. It just wasn't good timing, Vince. Why did you have to go and do that graduation on a very important day, a day where we got eliminated from the playoffs, a very important game? This series was so amazing because this was like a two-man duel in a lot of ways. You had Vince Carter on the Toronto side. You had Allen Iverson on the other side. I'm wearing the shirt that I got, like Vince Carter versus Allen Iverson from this series. And they were dueling 50-point games. Like one of them would have a 50-point game, and then the other one would have a 50-point game. It was absolutely insane. And I was working at the building during this series. So every home game here in Toronto, I was at. And in fact, the one that we lost, the one where Vince missed that shot, I was sitting right behind the Raptors bench because I had a friend who's an usher. And him and I would like do favors. He was my friend. You one hand washes the other. And after I got done working, making the Mr. Subs, I went and sat in his section. He had an empty seat. And it was like 3 rows behind the Raptors bench right down there. It was awesome. I love that series. It was so fun. Let's see what Kenne's saying. That Sixers team is like our current day Raptors, bunch of no-name workers. Yeah, I wouldn't say that, though. This Sixers team was not that talented. They had Iverson, they had Mutombo, but after that, they really didn't have a whole lot of guys. Like I'm looking at the box score for this game earlier, and they had 3 players in double-digit scoring. It was basically Iverson doing all the scoring, Mutombo getting some points, and then Aaron McKee got 11 points. And that's it. Nobody else really scored that much in this game. Other than Iverson and Mutombo and him. Oh, there's Keon Clark, y'all. Look at Keon. See, they're all wearing headbands, which was a big thing. But in some ways, those purple headbands, to me, they're not good luck for the Raptors. Like, when I see the purple headband, to me, sometimes I'm like, that doesn't mean success to me. Because, like, the purple headbands were worn to try and rally, and we didn't rally with them on. And I have some of these old purple headbands hanging around my house right now, because they gave a ton of them out. They gave them out to all the people in the crowd and everything. And I took a bunch, and I had like 3 or 4 of them for a while, but I've given them away over the years. I have one still just for posterity's sake. On like a convenience store show, we burned one on that show to try and to get rid of the bad stigma of the purple headbands and how they didn't help us. But yeah, what a great Raptor team. There's Del Curry in there. Okay, that's Jermaine Jones for Philadelphia. Look at Vince elevating and just going up over. I think that's Mutombo that he actually made that point on. JYD, great cheerleader. Charles Oakley. I mean, the solidarity of wearing the headbands was a great idea, but they still do all symbolize failure. They symbolize failure, which is too bad. Raymond Jacobs said, does turning down the brightness on the game TV screen lessen the glare any bit? I don't know. Maybe I could try that. I'm not very let me see what I could do. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this to be a problem, Raymond, because I was fully expecting to actually be able to crap. To do this through the other way, but it's not cooperating with me, as I said. You know what? I don't know if I can do about this, man, honestly. This is going to be a little janky today. These watch alongs are work in progress, so it is going to be what it is. All right, I don't know why I can't get this off the screen now. You see what I'm dealing with here, Raymond? I'm really kind of technologically inept, and that is why it is kind of this way. All right, there, I got that off there at least. Yeah, I am pretty technologically adept. This isn't for views or anything. This is kind of testing the diehard Raptor Freak cult that want to do this with me and watch this with me. This kind of content is experimental content. It'll get better, and I promise. All right, let me see. Yeah, I wish it was better, but we'll keep going on. There's Del Curry hitting a shot. That's really cool. Del Curry, he's not as good as Steph, but he definitely taught him his sweet stroke. That's for sure, because Dell had one of the best shooting strokes in the NBA ever. All right, let's see how Philadelphia works the ball around here. See, they're not going to go to too many other guys other than Iverson. See, the air ball. You let another Sixer shoot a shot, it's an air ball. It's pretty bad. All right, Vince from outside. Yeah, see, he should be money. Vince had a good shot, He did have a good shot. At this point, I really loved Vince so much. I loved him so much. Right up until he dogged it, I had loved him. I wanted him to be our guy for a long time. I was really bought into him. It wasn't until the very end that I turned on him. It was like, listen, this was somebody that we really were counting on. We loved. He was bringing some respect to the city. He was bringing some notoriety and things like that. And then, he fucked it all up when he left. Coors. Yeah, NBA on NBC. Yeah, I don't know how to get rid of this glare, Raymond Jacob. I am sorry. This is a fail in some ways, but you know what? Failures are fun too. There's Lenny Wilkins. Lenny was one of the greatest all-time coaches, had one of the highest wins. Popovich and Don Nelson stole it from him. Yeah, the way I had it set up, if I was able to do it through StreamYard, it would have had the whole screen be the game, and then I would have been in a little box able to talk about it from that way. But it's all screwed up. It is what it is. All right, let's just plot through it. Yeah, so I think every single Raptor is wearing a headband, which is good. Lenny looks so young there. Oh, my gosh. And he's not even that young there. He looks young there, though. All right, Aaron McKee, Vince Carter at the top. All right, who's that? Erickson. Oh, that's Iverson. Iverson missed. Rebound, Raptors. Coming back. That looks like Chris Childs handling the ball. Chris Childs, who was in the trivia yesterday. Over to Dell. Dell's looking to set up Keon. Keon's such a weird post player. He's like a Chris Boucher because he's so skinny. It's hard for him to fight for position. Who was that? That was Keon. Oh, no, that was Oakley, I think. Oh, Davis. That was Davis. We had really good forwards at this time. Our power forwards at this time were so good. Charles Oakley, Antonio Davis, Kevin Willis, those guys were so good. Like, they were such great veterans, such great big guys. Sue's saying you'll work out all the kinks for next time. We're here for you, Lex. Just appreciate you trying out some new things every day. Yeah, I thought I really had it after yesterday because I honestly had it really set up well. But like I said, there's part of it's not even me this morning. I think YouTube had an outage yesterday, and they're having all kinds of issues with connectivity and different things with their platform. So we'll keep doing it. Tom Duke saying, I know you can't win in the first quarter, but it sure helps getting a good lead in the beginning. Yeah, they're up 29-20 at this point in the game. The Raptors, 29-20, and it's still the first quarter. Look at Keon down low. He passed it off to Dell for the three. That is the better opportunity. Like that Del Curry 3-point shot is a pretty high percentage shot right there. So yeah, this Sixers team is similar to the Sixers team right now. Like I'm saying, they have like really good superstars at the top, like 2 or 3 really good players like Mutombo and Iverson, and then nobody. Like the rest of them were all really kind of like no name, kind of like guys. Like Aaron McKee was kind of maybe their next best player. Jermaine Jones, Tyrone Hill. I mean, yeah, it wasn't the best supporting cast for the Sixers. And it's kind of amazing that they got so far in the playoffs. That was a testament to Allen Iverson and Dikembe Mutombo, really. Tom Duke's saying Nets got 40 in the first yesterday, only ended up winning by like 7. Yeah, let's talk about the play-in yesterday. It was quite interesting. The Nets took care of business. They got the matchup against the Boston Celtics for Saturday. So that's that matchup. And then on the other side, Minnesota beat the Clippers. So they're going to be playing Memphis. And now those teams have to play the winners of the next games that are coming up right now. Also this morning, guys, check it out. The Raptors and the NBA have announced the first round schedule. So we know when the games will be for the Philadelphia series. It's like Saturday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday. The last game of Game 7 would be on the 30th of April if it happens, if it's necessary. Tom Duke's saying that Beverly was himself yesterday. Yeah, that's what I hear, that like they did really well. It was a close game. They had like I said, they had really good ref crew out there and stuff like that. We see Vince just going off here in this game. Sue's saying, yeah, the Cavs gave them a run in the last part of the game. Those Cavs don't give up. Got to give them that. Yeah, Mobley had a good game. It's just, it's Durant and it's Brooklyn. And this is what we wanted. We wanted Brooklyn to play Boston in the first round because that's going to get out a problem team right away. Like either one of those teams is going to have to get out because they're playing each other. And, we don't have to face both of them then. That's really good. Like we can get more of these kind of matchups where two juggernauts are kind of bumping into each other and they put each other out before we may have to face them. That's great. That's great. But a lot of people are starting to come around on the Raptors' chances against the Sixers in the first round. A lot of people are starting to pick them. Like, what is it? Max Kellerman's betting his house on whether we're going to win or not. He said he would bet his house that the Raptors are going to beat the Sixers. I love that. Sue's saying, yeah, Bev was a pest, but since I don't like the Clippers, I was living for Bev's antics last night. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Clippers other than Norman. Norman's the only one I'll root for like normal. That's nice. See how Vince elevates, and he just makes the shot right over him. Picture perfect. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Look, the turnovers so far in this game, this is a very Toronto kind of game. It's 13 turnovers for Philadelphia, only 5 for Toronto. That's really good right away. There's McKee with the rebound there. Aaron McKee was an unsung pro, but, he never was really, really that good. But he showed flashes at times, being like he was a 20-point scorer one season, I think, Aaron McKee. Yeah, there's Tyrone Hill. Oakley's like, you better give me my money, bitch. I'm going to beat you up. Oh, so good. Oh, man. Yeah, Tyrone, he was taking a beating, seriously. Like, seriously, from Oakley, he took a beating. Who's the big white guy out there? Is that Montrose? Eric Montrose is playing in this game. Holy crap. And there's Todd McCullough. Todd McCullough for Philadelphia 76ers. Good Canadian kid. Todd McCullough from Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's crazy. Yeah, no commercials. This will go by quick. Like this everything without the commercials, and it's cut down. So this is only an hour and 43 minutes, and we're already 20 minutes into it. So this will go by pretty quick, I'm sure. Not too much in there. All right, look at Vince attacking, going right at Mutombo. He's like, no. He's like, yes. I'm dunking on you. Vince sanity. Love it. Look at this guy. His first 3 games, 18.3. His last 2 games, 29.5. This is in the first round. This was a great year because the Raptors won their first ever playoff series against the Knicks before they played the Philadelphia 76ers in this round. And it's weird when you think about it. The 2 times we played the Sixers so far in the playoffs, this year and the 2019 year when we won the championship, they were both those games were in the 7-game series were in the second round, and now we're playing them in the first round. So that's kind of cool. There's Oakley on the bench. Oakley's such a Mac. There was one time when Stevie Roots and I were leaving work at the Air Canada Center way back around this time. And we were trying to get a cab. We're on the back end of the south east end of the Air Canada Center near the Gardner, and we're trying to hail a cab. And we look over, and there's Oakley standing next to us trying to hail a cab too, with Jason Williams, who played for the Nets. Jason Williams, who shot the limo driver and like got in big trouble for that. Like he accidentally shot a limo driver, and it's a really bad thing. But Oakley's like they're trying to wave down the cab, and of course that cab went and picked up the two almost 7 foot tall basketball players over Stevie Roots and I, just the lowly sub makers standing next to them. That's fine. I mean, that was my brush with greatness with Charles Oakley, was standing out there waiting for a cab at the same time as him. But yeah, Oak was a great professional, great, just a badass. Still says it like it is. They have a cool podcast. I haven't seen them make any episodes recently. Muggsy and Earl Curtin and Charles Oakley, the 3 OGs podcast. Highly recommend that when they're actually making it, but I haven't seen them make it in a long time. See, there's Aaron McKee making something. Raymond Jacobs said, to be honest, I never liked Iverson. All the kids in my class wore Iverson shoes. They were the shoes to have, but I didn't have them. I knew they looked at me as I wasn't cool like them. Kids can be so cruel. Yeah, you know what? He was a very in player. Like at this time, it's kind of crazy that this was the matchup, Vince versus Iverson, because they were two of the very much it players in the league, and you're having them head to head in this matchup. I wasn't a big Iverson guy either because he was the enemy to me. But like my boss at the time, I worked at the Velvet Underground downtown, Pat, who used to own the Velvet, he loved Iverson. Like we'd be working and he'd be sitting upstairs in the office and we'd be watching basketball games. He's like, Iverson's the best. Lexi, how can you not tell me that Iverson's not the best? Oh my God, he's bellissimo. Because he loves soccer and like football, and he's always watching Premier League and all this stuff. But then he'd watch Iverson, and Iverson was his guy. Pat loved Iverson. And I just got sick of listening to him go on and on about Iverson this, Iverson that. So, yeah, I think it was I'm not my favorite either, Raymond. Not my favorite, but I respected him because, honestly, you got to respect the guy who's 6 feet, who could elevate like that and do some of the crazy things that he did. He was a badass. It's kind of weird seeing Allen Iverson today because he's he's like filled out. And he was such a skinny little dude as a player. And now he's kind of got middle-aged like fill out in his gut and his kind of underneath his chin and stuff like that. He looks weird. He looks weird right now. Like when I saw him at the 75 All-Star, the All-Star game this year, just recently when they were at all the 75 stars. Yeah, he looked weird to me, Allen Iverson. Yeah. All right. So at this time, it's all right. 37-25. They got a 12-point lead in the second quarter. That's awesome. That is really good. With 4 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the half. Look at the old. That's actually Philadelphia. This is not the Toronto crowd. Who's this jabroni? I don't even remember this guy. This guy probably hung around for a hot second. Tom Duke's saying he does really look different. Some of those really old, huge men have aged well, though. It's true. Like, we were watching the New York game on Sunday, the last game of the season, and they showed Rod Strickland in the crowd. And I was like, holy shit, Rod Strickland looks like he could still play right now. He looks like he's in really good shape, Rod Strickland. That was really cool to see some of those old New York Knicks legends that were at the game on Sunday, Bernard King being one of them. A few other guys that kept flashing and showing in the crowd. Yeah, all right, so let's see. That's Eric Snow bringing the ball up the court. Two number 20s on each other, Eric Snow and Alvin Williams. And boom, just a nice cut by Allen Iverson. Real easy lay-in. That's poor defense. If you think about the defense, the way the Raptors play now, they would never allow something like that happen. This is the thing. The way that the NBA has changed is a lot of that cutting stuff, like what he just did, doesn't happen no more because it's the way the coverages are at this point. There's Dell in the corner. He should be money for that. I mean, okay, they got the ball back. There's a Vince for three. Vince makes the three. I think he ends up with 35 in this game. I don't think he actually got 50 in this one. Yeah, but it's very interesting. All right, Eric Snow at the top of the key. It looks like he's got Del Curry on him, passing it off to Iverson. Iverson, just a really quick shot, miss. See, that's the thing. Iverson was high volume. He'd shoot a lot. He'd miss a lot. And that's how he got his points. He was a high volume guy. And that's not necessarily good efficiency. Like That's why I don't like players like Allen Iverson or John Wall or Stephon Marbury. These guys have to shoot a lot of shots and miss a lot of shots to get their crazy numbers. And sometimes it's just like, throwing it up, chucking it up as soon as you get it. Oh my gosh. Okay, Tom Duke wants an impression. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. All right. Practice? We're talking practice. Practice? That's such a famous moment with Allen Iverson. Practice? Look how young Alvin looked there, man. Alvin Williams, he's a real one. Like, honestly, I'm so happy he's one of our announcers. And it's cool. You should go back and watch Alvin play, and you understand why he's an important Raptor, because he gave his heart and soul to this team. He really did. Look at Larry Brown. Larry Brown looks like, well, no, just so happy to be here. Sometimes Larry Brown reminds me of Mr. Rogers. I don't know why. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I don't know why. Does he have a cardigan? He comes in the house and he's like changing his cardigan when he comes home from the game. Larry Brown. He's like, "Oh, hi, wife. It's a beautiful day in the basketball neighborhood." Iverson, see, he's good for his free throws. He was always a good free throw shooter. We all have to give respect to Allen Iverson for being a style icon, being one of the first players to have a lot of tattoos, to kind of have that look that he has now. He's really influenced the whole NBA ever since. That he was the first one in a lot of ways that showed that kind of style, and that made it okay for players, because in some ways the NBA was very controlling of the players for many, many years. You couldn't have your pants down low, or they weren't supposed to be here. You couldn't have, they wanted you to dress certain ways. You always had to wear business attire if you're not in the games and stuff like that. That's still true in a lot of cases. And Allen Iverson kind of was an outlaw. He was he kind of bucked all that with his tattoos and rolling up his hair in the ways he did and stuff like that. He was one of the first ones. And he opened the door for players for personal self-expression in good ways, because I feel like the NBA was a little bit too we want our players to be safe and homogenized, so that it's family friendly for the kids and the parents, and they're not worried about them being possibly gangsters or weird or crazy. And Allen Iverson opened that door and was a big part of that. Dennis Rodman also. Dennis Rodman was a part of that also. But Allen even more so in some ways. Because in some ways, people didn't want to be like Dennis. Dennis was like, no, we don't want to be like Dennis, but we do want to be like Allen. So that was part of that whole effect there, with the style of Allen Iverson opening the door for the future generations of NBA talents. There'd be no Gary Trent Jr. swag without Allen Iverson and his style iconography from back then, is what I'm saying. All right, Vince operating at the top of the key. Look at how he breaks them down. A little spin. Oh, see, he did a little bit like what a Pascal would do. That was that was Dell again. Dell is money. People got to understand, Seth and Steph have it in their genes. Dell Curry was a badass. He wasn't even as good as he was in Charlotte for us in Toronto. He was something else in Charlotte for a while there. Okay, let's see. They're making some subs. Yeah, there's Dell's money. He was the guy I always wanted to be I used to try practice and try and shoot particular people, and Dell Curry was one of them. Dell Curry, Chuck Person, and Reggie Miller. Those were the three best looking jump shots that I thought in the league. Those were the guys that I really was trying to mimic in my own game when I was playing. McKee, once again, like I said, Aaron McKee was an unsung hero for the Sixers. I think a lot of real hardcore Sixer fans love Aaron McKee in different ways. He's somebody like Morris Peterson for their franchise. We love Morris Peterson. They love Aaron McKee because he did a lot of fun, good stuff for them. And in fact, in this playoff run, he did pretty good for them at different times, important times. Oh, he missed the free throw, though. Davis with the rebound. What? Get the ball. Don't let them get the ball back. Mutombo got fouled. See, that's horrible. Antonio Davis, you grab the ball with two hands and you bring it down. Come on now. What are you doing, Davis? You're supposed to be an all-star. He's somebody that could have been better. Honestly, I feel like Antonio Davis could have been a better pro than he was. I know he was really good already, but there's something about him that always told me he's holding back, that he's not playing as good as he could. Mutombo's very interesting guy. He speaks like 7 languages. And, he got in trouble in recent years for this gold or diamond mining controversy. Like he was involved in something that wasn't good. But I think he's gotten separated from it by now or something like that. But there was some sort of scandal about a diamond company or something that he was involved with or something. It was either diamond or gold. What is it? That's a crap foul. That's a crap foul. See, the refs in this case, the last couple of plays are really helping Philadelphia. Like that this play right here. Oh, see, he's just standing there, and Allen Iverson is overacting on that pick. Like that is way overacting the way he fell on the ground there. All right, Iverson working against looks like Chris Childs. He missed it. And Childs got the rebound. Good former Knicks that we had at this point. Tough-nosed Knicks, Chris Childs, Charles Oakley. And that was really interesting. When we did the trivia yesterday and Chris Childs' name is on our all-time playoff scorers, that says a lot because it was in the series like this, in this playoff run, in the couple of playoff runs. He only was involved in like 2 or 3 playoff runs for the Raptors. I think only 2. And he ended up being in the top 19 scorers for the Raptors in the playoffs. It was very interesting. Eric Snow was going to coach for a while. I think he's still coaching, but I don't ever see him anymore. I don't see him anywhere. Like he's somebody that I think was moving up in the coaching ranks, but I don't think he worked out. And now I don't know where he is. But yeah, he's another unsung kind of guy. He had his moments at times, but he was never really that super, super great, Eric Snow. He had a better college career in some ways than his NBA career. See, look at them missing free throws. Like, come on, they're free. You got to make them, Sixers. Ha ha. Davis and Oakley and Morris Peterson. Montross. I don't know why they're playing Montross over Davis and Oakley right now. Eric Montross, like, I don't even remember that much about what he did when he was here with the Raptors. Like, it didn't seem like he was obviously he was a scrub. North Carolina scrub. Part of it was probably because he played with Vince in college at NC, and that they wanted to have Vince have a buddy, and I think Montross was that guy. All right, Carter. Oh, look, he just spot up, took it, he missed. Okay, Iverson on the way back. Iverson, break him down, go around. Oh, blocked by Vince. Ooh, don't come in here. This is a no, Iverson. That's right. Vince is trying to be humble, but he blocked the shit out of him right here. Look, watch this. No, you don't get that. No, you don't. You don't get that, Allen. Ooh, we want some of this weekend, baby. We want the Raptors today to do this to the Sixers of today. Oh, man. So we're up 47-35. 12-point lead still. This is great. Just about to be halftime. Look at Allen. That was part of it, too. Allen had such a cherubic face. Like, such a youthful face. And, like, he's, like, weird because he's kind of like a baby-faced gangster. Like, he's kind of like, all the girls love him. He's so cute, but he's a bad boy, too. It's kind of like he looks like a little kid, but he also looks like he could shoot you. It's like, I'm just kidding. He's not like that. But he did have that thing that happened at the bowling alley in college that was really bad. But, yeah, I'm just saying that he had that bad boy cute appeal. So a lot of women were into him. Oh, my gosh. A lot of women were really into him. Oh, my gosh. All right. So they got the ball back. They're on their way in a break situation. Chris Childs trying his best. He stopped it. He got the foul. He fouled Jermaine Jones and put him on the line. That's better than just giving up the shot and letting them just get an easy score right there. I don't disagree with what he did there because he did a good job. He came at him. He pushed him, and he even pushed him in the right way where he would make sure he missed it. Because that's important. That's the thing. If you're going to go and foul a guy like that, you make sure they miss it too. Because we don't need to be giving them and ones. And so, oh my gosh, what is this? This is a technical? I don't understand this. I wonder if that was like a flagrant foul because of the way he hit him. because they're giving them 2 shots too and the ball. See, that's the thing. The rules have evolved over the years. Like, I don't understand. They wouldn't call that like that today. That contact's perfectly fine. And he didn't really hit him that hard. Like, that's normal contact today. And at that point, they're calling it a flagrant, giving him 2 free throw shots and bringing it out. That's how much we come from, guys. Like, holy crap. That's crazy. That was not a flagrant, especially when it's a guard on a forward. That's a littler player hitting a bigger guy coming to the basket. I wouldn't have called that, refs. That may be part of the favoritism. Like we said, there's some favoritism against the Raptors was even worse at this time. Like they were going to favor the Sixers in all kinds of different ways. Maybe that was how they did in that one play right there. You know, Lenny's like so smooth. Look at that nice suit. Lenny Wilkins. I really loved that Lenny was our coach for that time because he was real respected. And he was one of the greatest coaches of the NBA's history. He still is. And him coming in and being the coach at this time was fantastic. He was replacing Butch Carter. Butch Carter in some ways really pissed me off. He was a lot of ego in different ways with Butch Carter that wasn't good for the team. And Lenny, even though he was kind of a passive coach at times in some ways, he was the right kind of coach for us at this time in some ways. So, and with the veteran team that we had at this point, like this was a vet team. Like, it's nothing like our Raptors right now. A lot of these guys were in their 30s on the Raptors, and they were established vets from like other teams, whether it was Charles Oakley, Del Curry, Muggsy Bogues, Chris Childs, these guys. So it's halftime, and the Raptors are winning. And that's what we want to see on Saturday night, 6 o'clock. Game 1, Toronto Raptors at Philadelphia 76ers, 2022 playoffs. Game 1, first round, starting Saturday night, 6 o'clock. I can't wait. I'm so glad they didn't put us in the middle of the day, that we're starting at 6. The schedule for the series is out, and there is a 2 o'clock game on there. I think it's one of the games here in Toronto, actually. So it shouldn't be too bad. It should be all right. We're up by 10 at the half in this game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, 2001, May 5th, 2001 is what we're watching right now. Vince Carter versus Allen Iverson, halftime. I'm sorry for the janky setup. It's just how I got to do it right now. I tried to get StreamYard to work with YouTube this morning, but YouTube's all fucked up from an outage yesterday, and they're not linking up. So I'm doing it old school over my shoulder. It's so weird. But I will fix all this because we're going to do these watch-alongs every Wednesday during the off season, and I want to make it so that it looks good and it's functional, so it looks right. Let's see what Ahmad Rashad has to say. This is interesting.
Inspired basketball like they were against Indiana. They're a little bit out of sync. They have 14.
Kevin Johnson. He's a bad dude, guys. Not a good person.
They said, look, Alvin Williams said, I want a defensive assignment. I want to see if I can slow up Allen Iverson. And Vince Carter stepped up offensively, putting up big numbers. Somebody on the Philadelphia 76ers have to take on that assignment to slow up Vince Carter and get him out of his comfort zone.
See, always talking about it from the Philadelphia perspective. Oh, PJ, don't get choked, PJ. This man was an asshole to make somebody so mad that they had to choke him. And Latrell, his career never really recovered from that, unfortunately. Then they have the Hornets versus the Bucks. Sam Cassell, Florida State. Big balls, Cassell. Doing the big balls. David Wesley. Wow, that's a blast from the past. Glenn Rice, I think, was on this Charlotte team at this time. Glenn Rice was a fantastic scorer. I love Glenn Rice. Oh, my gosh, Glenn Rice was a great player. So underrated. We don't talk enough about Glenn Rice, y'all. I'm sorry. We don't. Well, the Bucks won this one. Lakers and Kings. Shaq. See, there's robbery that happens between these two teams in a couple years from now. The Kings and the Lakers. Yeah, the refs are wrong to them. They were very wrong to them, honestly. All right, let me turn it down. Yeah. Yeah, the way that they ref that one series in like 2005 or 2006 was so blatantly rigged that it kind of ruined the refereeing in the NBA, that how much they helped the Lakers in that game. So, all right, back to the Raptor game. Is there you guys are quiet right now. All right, I'm just gonna see what's up with that. I'll make sure I'm not missing nothing. Net zero. Weakest link. Y'all remember Weakest Link with that British lady? You're the weakest link. Get out. Click 2AM's here. Good. Just got home. What's up, man? We're watching the Philadelphia 76ers Toronto Raptors, May 5th, 2001, game 1 of Eastern Conference semifinals. Vince versus Allen Iverson. And it's just halftime. We're just about to start the second half, Click. So you still got here in good time. You are the weakest link. Get out, Tom Arnold. Yes. Weakest link celebrity edition. There's Mutombo. No. Vince Carter wearing the headband like a collar. That's actually not a bad look, Vince. You maybe want to wear it like that. Chris Childs, that was a badass. That dude was such a fighter for us at that time. And look at young Alvin. This is why he's on our Sportsnet. And there's Tyrone Hill. He owes somebody some money. He knows he's in trouble. He knows he's going to get his ass beat. And there's Antonio Davis. He does not understand leaders. Okay, here we go. This is C. It's moving around at the top of the key. Let's see who moves it. There's Vince with it. Vince, look at that move. Look at that step. That step, he tries to establish his first step. There it goes. His first step was pretty good. Who's that? Davis missing an open shot. See, Antonio Davis used to piss me off. Oh my gosh. It was, like I said, I feel like he could have done so much more. I know he got an all-star. What is this WrestleMania stuff going on underneath the basket? That looked like a German suplex that they just did under the basket there. Holy crap. And there was no call at all. They called that flagrant on Chris Childs before the half. Meanwhile, they can get away with a German suplex underneath the basket. What the fuck is going on here? It's like, oh, man. All right, let's see. We're still up 10. Philadelphia cut it down by 2. All right, let's see them operate at the top of the key. Let's see what they try and do, how they try and break down this Raptors defense. Like, listen, our defense is so much better nowadays. Like, you can see the difference in having the positionless kind of scheme. The way that our guys are so up on people is like, even in a game like this is an important playoff game. The Raptors just don't play with that kind of intensity or energy like our current Raptors do. Like, they don't care as much. Their heart isn't as much. They're not committed as much to doing what Nick Nurse wants. Like these guys, for Lenny Wilkins, they're not as committed in this game, is what I'm saying. You know, because in some ways, like I said, Toronto was still a joke. And it's kind of hard for you to put your blood, sweat, and tears into a team where half the people out there are saying your team's crappy and you're shitty and what are you even trying for? And that's the crazy thing about the talent that the Vince years had. Oh, you got hit. Babyface got hit. Look out. Has he got any blood? Can't stop the game. Stop the game. Karl Malone told you to stop the game because no blood, no AIDS. All right, let's keep going. All right, hit that shot. Nope, he missed. Get the long rebound. All right, good. Throw it down there. You hit that shot. All right, get it into the post. Come on. What is this sloppy shit? Oh, my gosh. He saved the ball to the Philadelphia 76ers. And then once again, there's Chris Childs, the only one in between the ball and the basket for us. And he takes a charge. Did he get a charge on Iverson just now there? That would be good. Chris Childs, man, like, honestly, I have more respect just watching this game right now for him. I forgot what he was doing for us, putting his body on the line. Okay, that was just out of bounds on us. They didn't give him the offensive charge. All right, good rebound, Davis. That's the way you pull it down. Okay, let's see what Chris Childs sets up here. Over to Oakley. He was always good for that shot, just inside the three-point line. Really good shooter in a lot of ways, Charles Oakley. In some ways, Precious is kind of like Oakley right now, in some ways to me, with his shooting. Oh, nice strip by Chris Childs. See, that's the thing. He was just gutsy, always involved in everything, getting his hands and stuff, just being a pest. Like he was truly a pest kind of player, Chris Childs. And not really somebody people remember as being a Raptor, but he did have important Raptor moments. You know what? I'd love for Chris Childs to come back to Toronto and celebrate his Raptors career with us after all these years. That'd be fantastic. And this may be the time to do it. Playing against Philadelphia in the first round right now, like since we're watching this right now, Chris Childs, come back to Toronto and watch a game in Scotiabank Arena with us, and we'll give you flowers. We'll give you an ovation. Come on, Chris. Come on in. All right, let's see how they work it here. See, they got it down to Mutombo one-on-one against Davis. And see, he can kill him every time because his arms are so long. That's an easy baby hook for Mutombo. And they're not going to come and double him, which they probably should have thought about. But once Mutombo gets the ball that close to the basket, it's over. He can just turn around and hook it in. All right, Oakley with the fake is always funny. Who's that? Oh, man, Davis. See, he's getting hammered. He's got to go to the line there. Give him his free throws, ref. Oh, yeah. Iverson. It's fun to watch these old games and see the old times. Like, see the old jerseys and everything. There's Jack Nees refereeing. Jack Nees' son is Eric Nees, who was on the Real World. Yeah, the first Real World season, his dad was a ref. J.O., what's up, man? What game are you watching in the series? I was a little kid at game 2 when AI dropped 54. This is game 1, J.O. We're going to watch them in order, I think, as we go through the playoffs here. We do a Wednesday watch-along, Retro Raptor watch-along here on Wednesdays, and I got different games I'm doing. I, of course, wanted to do a Philadelphia game since we're playing them in the first round, and this is game 1 of that series. Look at Oakley talking shit. He's talking shit to Iverson. I love it. Talk that shit. Tell him, Tyrone, you don't send nothing. I'm going to punch you. You owe me $20,000 from the poker table. Oh, yeah. Yes, J.O., I'm glad you're here, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm sorry my setup's not better. I'm working it out. Technical difficulties caused me to have to do it this way this morning. I couldn't get the overlay with the StreamYard going right. J.O. saying, I'm a huge Sixers fan. Good luck this series. You guys are tough. Hey, thanks, man. Hey, listen, we love that kind of good sportsmanship between teams and stuff like that. This is going to be a fun series. Joel Embiid had such a fantastic year this year. I'm glad that he won the scoring title. I think that's really big. It's going to be tough, this MVP race, but I think he's deserving in a lot of ways myself. A lot of your other players I don't really like. I do like Embiid and I like Maxey. Those two guys are awesome. But Harden, man, I feel sorry for y'all. You guys got to deal with James Harden now. And hopefully you won't be too disappointed too quickly. But I know that that's eventually what's going to happen for you guys with James Harden. And it'll be something like where you're going to have to chase him out of town like Ben Simmons. Jay saying, I didn't want to play you guys. I wanted the Bulls. Raps are so well coached. Yeah, we wanted y'all. We did want y'all. We didn't want Boston. And Milwaukee, we would have been okay with getting Milwaukee. But Boston's definitely who we didn't want. And, we match up real well with you guys. And, like, Joel has a hard time with our scheme, with our positionless different guys. Like, having Kem, Precious, Chris Boucher, Thad Young, all these guys can come and at your big guy in different ways. It really frustrates him. And we have a good game plan for him and stuff like that. But it's going to be a fun series. I mean, it's great, these epic battles that the Raptors and Sixers have this year in 2001, 2019, coming down to like a one shot, one possession with Kawhi Leonard and one shot and one possession with Vince Carter in this one. It's going to be fun to have the rubber match series finally. Philadelphia and Toronto. You guys have won one. We've won one. Let's see who gets the third one. Oh, yeah. J.O. saying, I used to hate watching Marc Gasol shut Embiid down. Yeah. He had his number. And, listen, a lot of the other Raptor freaks that watch my channel with me, they really love seeing Joel Embiid cry after that series. I didn't. I felt bad for him because when I saw him crying like that, it made me realize just how young he is. And that he's just a young man who had to experience this kind of thing. So I do really like Joel Embiid as a person. I think he's a cool dude. I think he's got a lot of cool parts to his game and stuff like that. But and Maxey's badass. Like, I love Tyrese Maxey. He's cool. And I love the whole thing that happened with him and Scotty at the skills competition at All-Star this year, where Scotty said, "I'm going to hug you." And Tyrese says, "No, don't do it." He's like, "I'm going to hug you." And then he hugs him, and Tyrese is like pushing him off him, and he wipes it off of his shoulder. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that was so good. But yeah, most of your team, like, I hate James Harden. I think James Harden is a big waste of space. And I feel bad for Sixers Nations because they got to deal with them now. Yeah. But cool having a Sixer fan here. We had another Sixer fan come to the channel the other day, and he was like not as nice as you. He was talking a lot of shit. So I had to talk shit back to him. But I like it more like when there's respect and we just kind of have fun and just kind of chat, respectfully, because it's just a sport. It's fun. There's so much division in the world today in so many different ways that, like, sports is something that should unite us and make us have a common thing that we share and love. And that's why I love when any sports fan of other teams come in here. We had a Suns fan this past weekend. They were weird. And a Nets fan was coming in here a lot this season, but they stopped coming in here at a certain point in the season for some reason. I wonder. G saying Maxey is good and Paul Reed is underutilized. Yeah, Paul Reed's a great young forward. I saw a lot of his work this year on the G League and the stuff he was doing against the Raptors 905. He was very dominant on the G League level at different times, Paul Reed. But yeah, he can do some good stuff for them also. He's actually one of the guys that they may really need in the series against us to battle our length. Is they might need Paul Reed out there because some of the Sixer guys are not good to have out on the court with our kind of lineup. Like, I love Danny Green. We just had our love fest for Danny Green, giving him his ring and stuff like that. But he's a liability in some ways for the Sixers in this series. And there's a couple of guys around his size and stuff like even Yang. Yang does so many good things for the Sixers with his 3-point shooting and just his scrappiness. But he's a defensive liability also. That he's an easy mismatch for the Raptors in different places. So that's going to be really the thing, is like finding these mismatches. Like, if the Sixers can utilize Embiid in a major way and just beat us over the head like he's a big club, that will be good for them. But I don't think we'll allow that. I think that we're not going to allow that because we haven't had good success with him. It's the guys like Maxey really scare me. Maxey's the kind of guy, because Fred has a hard time keeping up with him in some ways, especially with his knee being bad the second half of the season. Maxey could be a dangerous guy against us. J.O. saying I'm not a big Doc Rivers fan at all. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. If he was my coach, I wouldn't be that happy with him either. Because I've seen, like, he's kind of coasted off of his success with the Boston Celtics, winning the championship with Garnett and all them. And since then, it's kind of like he goes from one place to another until he gets fired. And I think that if he doesn't do well for you guys, like if we do beat you guys in the first round, he goes out, he's probably going to get fired, right? So that's what I'm thinking will probably happen. And then maybe he'll go coach the Lakers. And that'll be just a bigger dumpster fire with Doc Rivers being there and stuff like that. So I hope that you guys get a better coach if you do fire Doc Rivers this summer, that things work out for you guys. I actually really like Brett. Brett was a good coach for you guys a couple years ago. I thought that he was good, and I didn't understand totally why he had to leave. Maybe it was just that you guys wanted to bring in Doc Rivers. G's saying outside of Embiid, Maxey, and Reed are the ones that can cause damage. Yeah, I would agree with that. And because Reed and Maxey are so young, I mean, Maxey's more likely to try and do some major things. But Reed really is so young. Like everything he's going to do is going to be from a raw standpoint, like just coming out there. And also, once again, he's got to battle against guys like Precious, Thad Young, Chris Boucher. There's a lot of different long looks that we're going to have for Philadelphia just because of the way our roster is made up. And, I did a whole breakdown. Actually, I'm going to do this tomorrow on the channel, guys, for Thursday Think Tank. I did a whole big research yesterday, took the lineup of the Sixers and the lineup of the Raptors head-to-head and did who wins which matchup. Like I did Fred versus Maxey. I did Pascal versus Embiid. Went all the way down through the whole roster. I even did the coaches. And I kind of went over where the advantages are for each team on which side. And the things that I really found were that the Sixers' best advantages are their three-point shooting off their bench is really much better than ours. And that their parts of their bench are much better than us. But otherwise, we beat them in a lot of different important places. And I think overall we had the most wins in the matchup. I'll show that stuff tomorrow. Thursday Think Tank tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Everyday Raptors content. Raptor Freak channel, baby. Hit that red subscribe button. That's what we're doing tomorrow, y'all. We're going to be breaking it down matchup by matchup, Philadelphia and Toronto series. Oh, yeah. G saying Thad may be key in this series. I think he will be. He's going to be an X factor. He's going to be the kind of guy that he's going to do big plays and big moments. Like we've seen the last couple of games when Thad plays, he comes in the game, he's a calming influence. He does steady vet things, whether it's making sure he gets rebounds or one of the things I really like what Thad's doing recently is when we're cold or we're not making basket, he comes in all of a sudden, he gets like a nice little short hook somewhere near in the lane, and that calms things down and gets our scoring back going together, which is good. That's one of the things I really like about Thad. Tom Duke's saying, looking forward to the first playoff breakdown for game 1. Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. We're going to do the Thursday Think Tank. We're going to talk about scheming and plotting for how the Toronto Raptors can win the first round against the Philadelphia 76ers starting on Saturday night. J.O.'s saying Sixers are weak in rebounding and we lack athleticism. Harden just isn't explosive like he used to be, it seems. Yeah, he's really good with the playmaking. Like his assist totals for you guys since he's came to the team are fantastic. And I like that he's kind of being more of a playmaker because in some ways he is such a lazy player. Like he's going to be such a detriment on defense. Like this is part of the reason why in the last game we played the Sixers, Gary Trent Jr. went off. Is because he's not guarding Gary. Gary's going to be able to go do whatever he wants if James Harden is involved in trying to stop him. And that is the thing that Sixers got to watch out for is that's the thing. You can have him out there and he gives you all these bonuses on offense in different ways, whether it's his vision and passing. His shot isn't going down as well as it used to. That's for sure. But then on the other end, it's like defense, he's a dog. And it sucks. It sucks. This is the same thing that happened in Houston. This is the same stuff that was starting to develop in Brooklyn. And it's not going to change in Philadelphia, unfortunately. And that's why I was kind of saying that, like, you know what? The Sixers may have been better off not even making a trade for Ben Simmons, like doing nothing, sitting on him, fucking making him be like an idiot for the whole year and not giving him what he wanted. Because you gave up a couple of guys that were really good for your team and were helping y'all win a lot. And that was Drummond and Curry. And that was, I think that was the fuck up in it, is you got this guy, he's not going to help as much, and you lost 2 really good role players off your bench. And I don't think that the Nets won the deal either. I think that Ben Simmons is going to be a big failure for Brooklyn also. That in some ways, like Sixers Nation has broken Ben Simmons, and that's good. That's good because the guy's not tough enough to be in this league. He shouldn't be playing in it. Like if he's washed, if he's so worried about the fans saying things to him in the crowd, well, you can't fucking control that, Ben Simmons. You need to get to hear it. And you know what? You're going to hear it in Philadelphia. You're going to hear it in Toronto too. We're going to make fun of him up here too when he comes back up here. He's going to hear it all over the league. And the fact that he's asking for $20 million after all this right now, it just makes him look even worse. So yeah, we're with you on that with the Ben Simmons stuff, Sixers fan, for sure. Yeah, awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you liked and subscribed, Jay. Listen, like I said, bridging anything with any team nations and any like just general NBA fans that love the sport and things like that. I'm here for it. Jay saying also watching this 2001 playoff Raps versus Sixers so cool. It's one of the most epic playoff series ever. Listen, if you guys want to watch it with a better quality instead of having me in front of it and it kind of being like not totally clear because of reflection, it is on YouTube for free. You can find it. It's on a website, a channel called Tremendous Upside. There's a whole library of old NBA games in there going way back, like into the 70s and stuff like that. They have all kinds of crazy games on there, tons of Sixers games on there, J.O. So check out Tremendous Upside. That is the channel I'm watching this on right now. And they've got a lot of Raptor stuff. And that's where I'm going to be doing all the retro Raptor watch-alongs from. This is one of the most epic playoff series in some ways. It's really because of the 50-point scoring between Iverson and Vince, the way they were dueling with the 50 points. It was really cool and great marketing for the NBA. Like they had to love seeing these guys go all out like that and have such a competitive series. G saying, do you think with Fred and OG back that changes things? The lineup was big the last 2 games. I think that what's going to happen is we'll start our regular lineup with Scotty being center, and he'll probably guard Embiid a bit at the beginning of the game on Saturday. That it'll be Fred, Gary, OG, Pascal, and Scotty. And I don't like Pascal starting the game guarding Embiid. If they make OG guard Embiid at the beginning, that's fine too. But yeah, I think that that's what's going to happen. That we're going to have. I don't think Kem will start. I think that we'll start our best lineup like we have whenever they're all healthy and ready, and that'll be who we have out there. Now, if there's problems where Embiid's absolutely dominating whoever's trying to guard him in that smaller lineup, then Kem will come in right away and try and stop the bleeding. But I think that, it's the kind of thing where our rookie, Scotty's so crazy. He's like, I want to guard Embiid. He's like, yeah, I'll guard Embiid. And he's got some strength to him. So I think that he can at least kind of try and muscle him a little bit. But it's so hard. Like the thing with Embiid is you got to keep him away from the basket. You can't have him operate anywhere within 10 feet of the basket. You let him shoot the three. You let him shoot just inside the 3-point line, but you do not let him get position on the block down near the basket because you're done. You're done then. And if he does get in there, you just keep your hands up and stay in between him and the basket as much as possible. Don't foul him because you don't want to put him on the line, because that's really how these guys get most of their points is they try and get fouls drawn and just get in between, aggravate the shot, and hopefully misses it. And then make sure you get the rebound. That's real important. Mar Smith's here. Good morning, Mar. Good to see you again. Ben Simmons is riding his bogus injury claim all the way to get that 20 mil. Yeah, it's so crazy. Like, I don't understand this countersuit lawsuit to try and get his money back. Like, dude, you didn't play. You didn't show up. You didn't provide the goods and services to get paid for that. So who the fuck are you? Like, what the fuck is this, Ben Simmons? You're a fucking idiot. Like, geez. And like, listen, Brooklyn wants to try and insert him into their lineup in the playoffs, in the beginning of the playoffs right now. Go ahead and make that folly, because you're trying to add a new ingredient that hasn't played at all with anybody a single minute this year. And you're going to try and bring him in now in the playoffs. He's going to fuck it up. And he'll probably, like, he has to watch out, because part of his problem right now is mental. And if he comes in and he gets because listen, Sixers Nation can be very mean to people and turn on them like they did to him. You don't think Brooklyn and New York fan can't do the same? So they need to tread lightly with how they deal with Ben Simmons. And it may be real smart to just maybe say, not this year. You just take this whole entire year and playoffs off, and we'll work with you in the summer, and we'll bring you into the team next year. Because, I think they'd mess up. They'd mess up if they try to play Ben Simmons right now in the playoffs. Brooklyn, he might mess up their chemistry. J.O. saying, it's crazy you guys had Vince and McGrady on the same team at one time. It's a shame that couldn't have worked out. That was bullshit, man. It so pisses me off. And this is the thing that I don't want to hear anything about Scotty and Precious in the same kind of way, and Pascal and OG in the same kind of way. Because what they were saying at that time was, there's no way that y'all can coexist on the Raptors together, because in some ways it was short-sighting the Raptors and saying, well, this is a Canadian team. They shouldn't have so many superstars on their team. If it was the Lakers, they'd be like, yeah, they can be on the same team together. But because it was the Raptors at the time, somebody got in Tracy's head, said, you can't be on the same team as your cousin because he's going to overshine you. You're not going to get any kind of kudos or anything like that. And what we know, both of them have said they both regret not sticking together. And in fact, Vince in some ways regrets leaving Toronto the way he did, obviously. And Tracy does also. Like, if he could do it over again, he would have given them a good shot to try and do something. But yeah, you're right. That is what it is. We've always had really good draft picks. Like, the Raptors have always been really good at picking guys out of the draft. Like, even better now with Masai in charge. But Isaiah Thomas was fantastic at the beginning. Damon Stoudemire, Marcus Camby, Tracy McGrady, and Vince Carter, boom, like right in a row. Those are badass picks. A lot of them, Hall of Fame kind of guys. So, yeah, it is too bad it didn't work out. Woulda, coulda, shoulda is all how it's supposed to happen. And that's the history of the Raptors. And it is what it is. Raymond Jacobs saying Boston versus Nets predictions. I kind of want Boston to win so we can have a chance to beat Boston. Yeah. Listen, either way, one of them's got to lose. I'm sure Phillies fans with us on this one. One of those teams got to go out. An Atlantic Division opponent that we don't like, the Celtics or the Nets, either one of them go out, that's great. And, whichever one's standing is fine too. I don't know. It's hard to say. You got Durant and Kyrie on one side with not a lot otherwise. And then you got Boston and Boston being Boston. So I don't know. It's really not that cut and dry and easy to pick as far as things. But it'll be real interesting to see who survives that and who they get in the next round and stuff like that. So, Kevin's not going to want to lose. He has a lot to prove. And Boston also. I love that this is a first-round matchup, Boston versus Brooklyn. Get one of them out of the way because they're both annoying. They are both annoying. Oh, yeah. Mark Smith saying at J.O., I think about that Tracy Vince scenario all the time. Perhaps Tracy would have had a longer career. That could be, yeah, because he wouldn't have been so heavy, high usage and relied on so heavy in Orlando and in Houston. And, the stuff that happened to him in Orlando was injuries around him. Grant Hill, that one year when they were supposed to be a badass team together and Grant Hill got hurt. And then he goes to Houston and Yao Ming is hurt pretty much the whole time he's there also. So he's like, he didn't have any good luck with any of that. And he had a really hard time. Like, I think he did end up getting somewhere in the playoffs, but for a long time, Tracy McGrady lost in the first round of the playoffs every single year that he was in the playoffs. And just didn't get that. Wow, look at that shot by Vince that he just made over Tyrone Hill. Really impressive stuff. And then he's coming back for the steal. They lofted it way out of bounds. Yeah, good stuff here. Yeah, I think Tracy would have had a longer career also if he'd stayed in Toronto. He wouldn't have been relied on so heavy. He might not have gotten all the scoring accolades and the possible scoring championships and stuff like that. G's saying, I think the Celtics win. Much better defense. I think that's right. It's going to be a battle, though. Durant and Tatum and Brown, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be amazing, honestly. Look at that Kobe spin dunk. Wow. Yeah, look at the old school NBA, the way they were hyping it. Reggie Miller, Latrell, crazy. J.O. saying, Mark Smith, yep, it's very possible. That would have been a deadly duo. Same goes for Penny Hardaway. If Shaq had never left, Penny most likely had a long, successful career. Oh, that's a really good one to bring up, J.O. Yeah, I was an Orlando fan before Magic because I grew up in Florida, and I watched all the Magic games back then in the very beginning from 89 to like 95. I was a Magic fan. And that was a tough time. When Shaq went to L.A., that was messed up because it did look really good, like Penny Hardaway and Shaq, that combo. And they made it to the finals that one year against Houston, and Nick Anderson missed his free throws, and like that got really fucked up then. But yeah, Shaq leaving to go to LA, that was messed up. And once again, that was kind of like, these forces, like these fucked up forces this week, talking about Nick Nurse going to coach the Lakers. Lakers forces are dangerous because they come and they talk to people like Shaq and say, well, you should come out to LA and leave Orlando. And that's basically what happened, is that they lured him away like that. And that's why I'm so sick of the Lakers. They're bullshit. They think they can fucking just go get whatever they want in this league whenever they want it. And they need to shut the fuck up and just be a dumpster fire for the rest of the summer, like they are right now, because they are a dumpster fire, and they don't deserve to be talked about at this point. They've been such a failure this year that like the more anybody like continues to talk about them and stuff like that, it pisses me off. Especially the rumors this week about coaches and players and what they want and need. Nobody gives a shit about what you want or need. We give a shit about our playoff games and what we're trying to do. And you guys just need to go to the golf course and shut the fuck up for 2 months. Seriously, Laker Nation. Oh, my gosh. Mutombo, look at that stats. He's got a double-double at this point in the game, 5 of 8 shooting. Once again, Dikembe Mutombo is very underrated in some ways. Like, he is one of the greats. And because he's not really a scoring great, that's part of the reason why. But, like, the shot blocking, oh, my gosh. And then, like, the rebounding. And all the stuff that he did in Denver on the Nuggets was really cool, and some of the things and stuff. All right, Vince working at the top. Let's see how he works this. Okay, he's going to throw it. No, he got it. Look, nice thread the needle. And, boy, they must have really pushed Oakley because he went flying, and now he's selling. I don't even think he landed on that knee. He's just acting. I don't think he did. But he got the foul. That's great. Let's see. J.O. saying, I was so happy that Sixers got to the finals in 2001, but I knew Shaq was going to destroy us. He had 46 and 16 in game 1 and 28, 9 and 8 in game 2. He was on a mission. Yeah, it's partly that the NBA wanted the Lakers to win for sure. Because in that period of time when Shaq and Kobe were there, they were really helping them in all kinds of different ways. With like that Sacramento series I was talking about. See, look, they called another flagrant foul in that play where Oakley just kind of got pushed to the ground. This is such a soft league compared to this year with the physicality and the way people are playing this year. That they pushed Charles Oakley to the ground. They gave him 2 free throws in the ball. This is crazy. Like I didn't remember the league being so soft at this point. I know that the league was a lot tougher in the 80s and the early 90s, but at this point in 2001, this is soft. And the league's not like this year. This is more like the 80s and 90s as far as with the physicality. But I do like the way that they review flagrant fouls this year. Like they go back and look. Because even that play just now with Oakley, that was a little bit of acting, a little bit of embellishment by Oakley. They got him that flagrant. Oh my gosh, that's really bad, Vince. What did you dribble it off your foot? Did they get the ball or we get the ball? They call a foul. There's Mo Cheeks. Mo Cheeks with Larry Brown. Mo Cheeks is a great assistant coach. Been in the league for a long, long time. All right, let's see. Okay, so obviously they hit it out on us. Oh, look at that steal. Wait, is that a steal or are they fucked up? Iverson's just being a pest. Oh man. Yeah, look at that. I bet J.O. loves seeing that young Iverson from those days. And it's true. Like, it's crazy that this Sixers team, did go to the finals and play the Lakers in the finals. Because, honestly, I'm going to tell you this right now, J.O. I feel like this team was very paper thin. Like, you guys were so heavy at top with Iverson and Mutombo and McKee, and that's basically it. The rest of your guys were not that quality. Like, Eric Snow, really? Come on. Todd McCullough. Tyrone Hill, Jermaine Jones. This is not a stacked team. And the fact that you guys got to the finals with Mutombo and Iverson really being your engines is fantastic. It's a real testament to you guys, but also maybe it says something about the Eastern Conference at this point in time. But yeah, I was rooting for y'all against the Lakers. Not gonna lie. Even though y'all put us out, I hated the Lakers at this point. And I wanted anybody other than the Lakers. So I was rooting for the Sixers in that finals. It's too bad. Yeah. Cheeks was a really solid player for sure. Like, and he was on your team too, Philadelphia. He was on those teams with Charles and Moses and Dr. J way back. And with the one that you guys won the championship in 83. That's when you guys won the last time, right? Was 83 with Maurice Cheeks, Moses Malone, Charles Barkley, Julius Irving. No Charles Barkley. He wasn't on the team yet. Julius Irving, though. Yeah, Moses Malone. G saying Precious is very confident. Even his IG posts come off full of confidence. Yeah, I like what Precious posted yesterday. He's got like a manifestation equals dreams or something like that. And he's like showing all these great pictures of him with all this style in the last couple of months. Like the picture with him with that black shirt with the green sculpture on it in LA, like coming out of the hotel is so badass. Like it looks like it belongs in like a GQ magazine. Like it looks like it's a photo spread for like some men's like fashion magazine or something like that. Yeah, Precious is a badass. Like honestly, the more and more I learn about Precious Achua, the more I'm impressed about him just because he's seriously, we talk so much about Scotty Barnes and his potential, but Precious is up there. Oh my gosh. J.O.'s saying, I miss AI so bad. I thought we were going to lose in the Eastern Conference Finals against the big three of the Bucks. Sam Cassell, Glenn Robinson, Ray Allen. Yeah, that's right. That's who you guys had to play next after this one. Yeah, and that's a good team. Like Ray Allen is a badass with his shooting. Glenn Robinson didn't really live up to what he should have been in some ways. And Sam Cassell, what a great pro. The originator of the big balls, the big balls mannerism that Fred VanVleet got fined for this year in this season. It's so funny. All right, Vince working on the side. Okay, he passed it out to Childs. Childs into, that looks like Oakley. There's Del Curry for 3 from the outside. He missed. All right, bringing the ball up, Philadelphia. That's Eric Snow with the ball. Dribble into the paint, back out. That's Jermaine Jones. Miss. Mutombo making another opportunity off the offensive boards. That's going to be a really big part of what's going to help the Raptors is manufacturing more shots through getting steals off the Sixers and getting those offensive rebounds. Our bread and butter all season, we got 10 or 15 more field goal attempts than the 76ers in the series starting on Saturday. That'll be one of the keys that will help the Raptors win. is getting after the ball on the offensive boards and getting steals. Like, we really do a good job getting steals. And this is where Harden may become a big problem for the Sixers, is that he is so turnover prone right now that Gary Trent Jr. and Fred VanVleet are so crafty at prying the ball out or capitalizing on sloppy mistakes, handling the ball by the other team. And James Harden will do these kind of things. And that may be Achilles heel for them in this series coming up. J.O.'s saying, yep, Charles Barkley got to the team, sadly, when Dr. J and Moses weren't the same players. Yeah, he loved playing with those vets, though. He loved being a rookie and having Dr. J and Moses Malone on the team with him. I remember Charles speaks so glowingly about the mentorship that those two in particular gave to him. Also, Maurice Cheeks. I got to add him, too. J.O. is also saying Antonio Davis was a good player, and Dale Davis was a solid player as well for the Pacers. Yeah, Davis those guys for the Pacers were badass. They were the muscle for Reggie Miller for those years. And then when we got Antonio Davis in the Jonathan Bender trade, that draft deal, we drafted Jonathan Bender and turned around and traded him for Antonio Davis. He came here. He played pretty good for us for a while. But he also wasn't totally bought into being a Toronto Raptor and stuff like that. He said some knuckleheaded things when he left about how he didn't want his kids to learn the metric system or something. And that's why he had to leave. Stuff like that. So silly. But yeah, Davis was an all-star for the Raptors, so I have to give him some respect. They were definitely tough guys. Like, at this team, the Raptors, at this point, they had three of the best rebounders at any time in the league. And that was Antonio Davis, Charles Oakley, and Kevin Willis. Kevin Willis was an amazing rebounder. Like Dennis Rodman. He was like second to Dennis Rodman in his era for like really big rebounding games, Kevin Willis. So, yeah. Oh, wow. I think, you're laughing about the Davis thing I was just saying. Yeah, it was silly. Like, him and his wife got together and like, we don't want our kids to go to school in Canada because they'll learn Canadian things that aren't useful for them in America. And that was part of the reason why he left our team. Yeah. G says, do you think if Nurse coached them, they would have won? Which team? This team that we're watching right now? I don't know. I mean, Lenny was a laid-back kind of coach. He was a player's coach, as they put it, which when somebody says they're a player's coach, that means they just let them do whatever the fuck they want, and maybe they're not very disciplinary. They're kind of just like, yeah, let them go. Let's go, kind of thing. Nick Nurse is a player's coach right now, but it seems like he kind of demands more of his players as a player's coach. He's like, yeah, I'll let you guys go shoot threes, do whatever the fuck you want, but I'm also demanding this of you on the defensive end. I'm demanding this of you as far as like, you need to do this and this. Whereas Lenny may be like, I'm going to put my best lineup out there. I trust in you guys. I'll draw up a couple plays and stuff like that, but I trust in you guys and stuff like that. But that's an interesting mind exercise, G. That if Nick Nurse was coaching this 2001 Toronto Raptors team, would they have won this game? Well, would he gotten more out of Vince Carter? That's what I'm wondering. We look at how much he's gotten out of Scotty Barnes, Precious Achiuwa, different Gary Trent Jr., different players on our team this year. I wonder how much better Vince might have been, or Tracy, or some people like that with Nick Nurse pushing them. Nick Nurse giving them challenges and saying, if you do this and you do this, you trust me, that you'll get far. It's because it could be like in some ways Vince was coasting on his athletic talent. Like he really was coasting on his athletic talent. And in some ways he could have been more directed. I'm not sure what's going on there. Things are a little chippy on the court there with the Iverson and the ref. All these refs are retired that are in this game. I was trying to see if there's any refs that are actually involved in today's game in this one, but no, all three of the refs that are reffing this game in particular are not active at this point. J.O. saying Nick Nurse and Spo are really good, and you can see it with how the Raps and Heat play. Yeah. There's if you put like the top coaches in the league, those two have to be in the top three as far as things. I mean, Coach Popovich has got to get his due, obviously. Steve Kerr's another one that I think is one of the best coaches in the league. Stuff, guys like that. There's some young up and coming coaches that are pretty good. Like, Billy Donovan's not a bad coach either for Chicago in some ways and stuff like that. What the fuck? Why is he shooting a technical? That's fucked up. I don't know. Anyway, Chris Childs must have cussed at somebody or something. I don't know. Let's see what the play is. Oh, he touched his chin. He touched him on the chin, and the refs went crazy. protecting them. Oh, well. It is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Nick Nurse coaching this team, maybe he would have gotten more out of them. Maybe the whole thing with Vince going to UNC for his graduation would have been handled differently. I don't know. Oh, there you go. Aaron McKee hitting a big three there. That was something that he was good for. He'd show up every once in a while. He just hit something big and fuck us up. Aaron McKee was a good. He was an unsung pro, honestly. Like, I know Sixers Nation probably loves Aaron McKee in different ways just because he was that kind of guy. He came up with big shots, did important things for them at different times. J.O. saying it's great seeing the Eastern Conference this season being back to being competitive. Yeah, people have said for many years the Eastern Conference is a weaker conference, but I think this year we saw different things with it. The one thing about the Eastern Conference this season is there was no clear-cut like number one team like Phoenix on the other side. That, nobody took off and did that. Like at some points it seemed like Brooklyn was that. And then, Chicago was sitting up there for a while this season. Philadelphia was sitting in the top spot for a bit. Boston was sitting in the top spot for a bit. It shuffled around. Milwaukee, there's no clear cut. And that's why, and I'm going to say this right now, Sixer fan, and this is what I'm going to say. Next year, I feel like the Raptors are going to be the top dog because we're going to have a whole year with our guys together and hopefully no injuries. And really what fucked up our season was the first couple months of the season. We had a lot of things we had to figure out with new players, injuries. Pascal was out. And if we come into the season next year with a full head of steam or a good training camp and everybody is on the same page, I think that we're going to start rolling right away. And that may set up our season a lot different. If we're winning the same kind of clip we've been winning since December, whatever, 5th, like we were like 13-3 to close the season, that it could be that we're going to be one of those top teams at the very top and dominating with their record. But yeah, the Eastern Conference is a lot more even and more competitive. And that's great. Like I love this whole race right on down till Sunday, the last day of the season. Nothing was decided completely. And that those games mattered and that nobody you were wanting to try and win right up until the end because it mattered. The seeding mattered. It was really crazy. J.O. saying, I love Aaron McKee. He was the sixth man of the league that season with Larry Brown, coach of the year. Mutombo was defensive player of the year and AI was MVP. Look at that. You guys won a whole bunch of awards that year. And they were rightfully so. Like Mutombo for sure, defensive player of the year. He could give him that award every year and he would deserve it. And then AI, the way he played in this series and just in general, like he was so important. Like without Allen Iverson, Sixers were nothing. Like he is so essential to this run this year in 2001. And I like that I forgot Larry Brown was coach of the year. And McKee, being sixth man of the year, that makes sense. But yeah, look at Allen. Allen, I'm sure Alvin Williams still has a few nightmares of having to try and guard Allen Iverson to this day. I'll bet you he'll bring it up sometimes on the Raptor broadcast. He'll talk about having to guard Allen Iverson and the nightmares that entails. See, this is right around when I was working at the Air Canada Center, making subs as a Mr. Sub concessionaire. I would make my subs and pre-make them before the game. And before the crowd, the public was allowed in the building, I'd go and sit in the arena and I watched the players shoot around before the game, like really early shoot around before anybody's in the building. And that was when I saw Dell out there with Steph and Seth when they were like little kids, like 12 or something. They were little kids. And he was practicing and showing them how to shoot three-pointers. And this was like right around this time in 2001, Steph Curry and Seth Curry like as little kids, and they were bombing NBA threes. It was crazy. I'm sitting there, I'm like, Del Curry's little kids are good. And they're going to be in the NBA one day is what I was telling myself that. And they were like they were like 11 and 12 or something at that time. It's insane how young they were and how badass they were at shooting already. It's one of the coolest moments memories that I have is seeing Steph Curry as a little kid bombing threes in the Air Canada Center while Dell was playing for the Raptors. All right, let's see. Block that. Don't let him do that. Look at that. You see how he went across, but he still didn't make the layup. That's really smart offensive play to try and make sure the guy can't get to you, crossing it over. J.O. saying AI wasn't perfect off the court, but on the court, that man gave it everything he had. Big heart. Oh, my gosh. Yes, the template. Like pound for pound, maybe the fiercest competitor pound for pound this league has ever seen. For that kind of body and that size, the fierceness in that body is amazing. Like, this dude's smaller than me. Like, I'm 6'4", and I weighed more than him, and he was doing amazing things, like the athleticism, the jumping ability, just like all kinds of stuff. But there were detriments to his game for team play, but also just you have to respect the individual offensive ability of Allen Iverson. It was just amazing. Truly one of the greatest of all time, for sure. For sure. And he's somebody that doesn't get talked about in like the conversations with LeBron or Kareem or Michael and stuff like that. But you know what? Allen Iverson, in some ways, as far as an individual player, should be in like top 20 greatest players of all time in my book, as far as things. Because, I didn't like playing against him, but I always respected him. He was somebody that I was always like, I can really appreciate some of the things he does on the court as an artist on the court, and some of the things offensively he's, especially with the dribbles and like, oh my gosh, the crossover and the things that he do, so badass. And there's nothing like seeing a guy that's around 6 feet tall just elevate over somebody way bigger than them and throw it down. Like, some of his dunks were insane. Like, he had no business being able to do that. It's crazy. So the Raptors kind of controlled this game pretty much throughout the whole game. We see at this point they're up by 6, 85-79. And it ended up being a close game. But for a lot of this game, they had a double-digit lead and stuff like that. And part of the reason why this game was so important in Raptor history was the Raptors had played a couple of playoff series already. They played Knicks twice. They played them in 99 and lost. It got put out and swept. And then they played the Knicks in the first round of this playoff, and they beat them. And that was the first time they ever won a playoff series. Like, that was the first time the Raptors ever won a playoff series. Basically, this game was the game after they'd won their first ever playoff series as a franchise. So it was like really unknown territory for Raptors Nation and Raptors, the team, and stuff like that. So, and the other thing about it all is that we had been losing the game ones like crazy. We lost the game one of the first time we were in the playoffs. We lost the game one of the first round against the Knicks. And it was starting to build this thing about where the Raptors lose game ones, the playoffs. And it built over the years, even after this. It became a thing for the next 10 or 12 years, which sucked. But this series is proof that the Raptors were able to win a game one of a playoff series at that early, because this is game one of this series, and we end up winning it. So, and that says something, because for so long, our record in game ones of playoff series has been really bad, right up. And even into the championships year, when we played Orlando in the first game of the first round, we lost. And that was something like, oh no, this again, over and over again. J.O. saying, what did you think when Vince and Tracy weren't on the top 75 players of all time list? Yeah, that's interesting. Like, both of them could be on it, honestly. I think that Vince, the reason why he should have been on the 75 list is mostly kind of, flashy kind of things, like the dunk stuff for the dunk contest. He really brought a lot more interest and hype into the game, like Michael Jordan and Dominique did with their dunk contests in the 80s. That revitalized the dunk and more interest in the game. And that's great in itself. And because it happened here in Toronto, and he basically had the Carter effect here in Canada, that because Vince Carter did what he did, he caused all these great young Canadian players to be coming into the league the last few years. There's so many Canadian players in the league that are good now because of Vince Carter. And for that reason, and also his longevity, the fact that he played in 4 different decades, the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, and those kind of accolades, that to me is great. And that in some ways, that's greater than somebody like Damian Lillard, who's never won a championship or done this, or even James Harden. Like, he's not necessarily somebody we should celebrate as one of the 75 greatest players in the NBA's history, because he has a lot of bad baggage and fucked up things about his career also. Like the way he left Houston and just being a bad dude, like in some ways. So I didn't agree with how many recent players are on the 75. NBA 75. Like, Anthony Davis has no business on there also. If you're going to put Carmelo on that list, you better fucking put Tracy McGrady. You better put Alex English. You put those guys like that, because there's guys like that him from different eras that are exactly the same like Carmelo. So there were a lot of guys on that team I didn't agree with being on there. And yeah, that's how I feel about it. So, Vince was important to the game, and he is an important, great part of it, even if I hate him. He's still a great, important player. Out of all the players that ever played, maybe he should be in the top 75. And some of these more recent guys shouldn't. Like even Giannis. I know Giannis has won a championship. He has all the promise in the world, but he still has scratched the surface of what he can possibly do in his career. And you're kind of giving it to him a little too early. Like maybe he should be on the NBA 100. But some of these more recent guys, like maybe they need to have a thing where if you're an active player, we really don't consider you for this. You have to retire and be a certain time past. Because some of these guys, active players they put on the NBA 75, they have no business on there, in my honest opinion. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Raymond Jake. Let's see. J.O. saying Vince was the best dunker ever. I don't care. I agree with this. Like, it's really an argument between Michael and maybe Dr. J and Vince Carter, those three. And in some ways, Vince, just because of when he came and how dominant that dunk contest was, that was actually the first watch along we did during All-Star weekend. We watched the Vince Carter dunk contest, just like how we're watching this, and went through it and reviewed it. And it was pretty cool to rewatch again, him and Tracy going up against each other in the dunk contest. I agree with that. I think Vince Carter was the greatest dunker in the history of the NBA. G saying that's true. I read there are now 24 Canadians in the league and many coming up. Yeah. And it keeps continuing waves of more and more good players. The 2019 championship is going to have this effect also. So there's going to be even more. And there's a lot of good Canadian players playing and getting into basketball. And that's part of it. Oh, yeah. Raymond Jacobs saying, yeah, he was so good that he broke the dunk contest. Never, ever been the same again. Yeah. Yeah, that's true in a way. He did some stuff. He braced the ceiling, and nobody else has dared to try and do some of the risky stuff and been successful at it. You can dare and do some crazy stuff like we saw in this recent dunk contest this year. But if you're not successful and you're not making it, it looks so bad. And it's just, it's garbage. And it's really kind of, we need guys like Ja Morant and these amazing leapers that are able to do this crazy stuff that aren't scared to do it. There needs to be maybe a cash incentive. Maybe there needs to be more to win from it than just like, oh, you did it, because there's more to lose in doing the dunk contest these days than to get from it. Because you may look bad and you may like, you embarrassed yourself, kind of thing. I think that's a lot of it is right now that like the main good players, like the superstar players, don't want to do it because it could hurt their legacy or their image in some ways. So yeah, let's see. J.O. saying, yeah, I know. How is AD on that list, but not Dwight Howard? I don't agree with Dwight Howard being on it either. But yeah, definitely Anthony Davis has no business on there. He has one ring. You're better off putting somebody like Kyle Lowry on that list. It's like Kyle Lowry should maybe be on that list over Anthony Davis. He has one ring also, but at least he has like a certain kind of acumen and respect and different things around the league and stuff. The 75 was just a pile of whatever, it really pissed me off when it came out. J.O. saying, do you always root for Andrew Wiggins unless he's playing for the Raps? I have rooted for Andrew Wiggins as a Canadian, as a Toronto person. But no, not really. He kills us. Like sometimes it always seems like when we play Golden State or Andrew Wiggins, he does some crazy badass thing to us. And I hate it. So no, not really. There's other Canadian players in the league that I like more in some ways. We were talking about this the other way. Of course, I love Chris Boucher. He's my favorite Canadian player in the league. But yeah, Delano Banton, Kem Birch, I'll talk about our Toronto Canadians. All right, let's see what's going on in the game right now. Look at that. There's Oakley again outside. He's good money. That's the outlet shot. Like they're running out of things. The crowd, the team's going crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I think Josh should too. I think Ja Morant needs to be in the dunk contest. He would save the dunk contest because the guy has such crazy hops. It's obvious that he can do something really special and impressive. And, the dunk contest is just really weird. They need to overhaul it. They need to figure out the way to make it better and stuff like that. Let's see. G saying Jamal, Shy, Lou Dort, our guys for sure. Yeah. RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks. It's crazy. The amount of Canadian guys that are playing at a high level and doing good things in the league right now is really at an all-time high. And it's evident on our team. We have 3 Canadians on our roster right now, the Raptors, and that's saying something. All right, let's see what's going on in the game. We got it's almost over. There's only a minute left in the game, and there's only about 6 more minutes in my watch along for today, guys. So we'll just finish up the game. I'm sorry it didn't work out exactly as I wanted. I wanted to have the inlay with me in a little box and this on the screen with no reflection, but YouTube's being funny today. J.O. saying Andrew Wiggins had so much hype around him. They were calling him the Canadian MJ. I was shocked he made the starting 5 on the All-Star team this year. You know how that happened, J.O., right? You know how the Andrew Wiggins got voted to be on the starting lineup? It's so funny, actually. He got a following through a K-pop group in Korea. Like, you know, those K-pop groups like BTS and all this kind of stuff. Well, one of their fan nations championed getting Andrew Wiggins into the NBA All-Star team. And they all voted him blindly. They didn't even know anything about basketball. They just used this voting body of young K-pop fans, like little girls and stuff like that, and they voted the hell out of it. Like, there's weird, powerful entities out there. And one of them is K-pop fan bases. And then if you could get them to do something, they all do it all at once. They can fuck the world up and make things happen. It's crazy. Like, they've done stuff politically that has messed up places when they've done things that were wrong. It's kind of like this thing with the saving GameStop thing where everybody bought the stock and it messed everything up. Well, these K-pop fans were told to vote for Andrew Wiggins, and that's how he got it. They paid, they bunch of them, but some K-pop star says vote Andrew Wiggins, and all these girls who do not watch the NBA, these teeny boppers in Korea voted like crazy for Andrew Wiggins, and that's how he got in. That's how he got on that's exactly how. It's crazy. Like, when I read about that this year, I was like, that makes sense, because like I didn't understand why Wiggins was getting so many numbers, like so many votes, but he had like this crazy army of K-pop fans that was voting for him. That's why. All right, this is the end of the game. I guess maybe we should pay attention to this. This is Vince coming up big at the end of the game here. That's Iverson hitting a big shot over Allen. And Raymond Jacobs saying, how about NBA letting any player want to compete a dunk, one dunk each, competing for $1 million cash prize or something other prize? That's not bad. Like, the money is really going to be the thing that is attractive to players nowadays. But it has to be some real money. Like you're saying, like $1 million might do it. Raymond Jacobs saying, ditch the tournament point style and have the player do only one dunk. So it has to be special. He's a bit stoned right now, says Mon Water. That's fine, man. Hey, that's fine. You're in the right place. Trust me. I like any kind of innovation that they can make it more interesting and entice the best talent that can do the dunks in the NBA to do the dunks. Because listen, Obi Toppin and who the fuck was there this time? Cole Anthony and all this bullshit with his Timberlands. No, this is not the best dunkers in the league. I'm sorry. Talking about that Timberlands dunk that Cole Anthony tried to do at the dunk contest that he failed miserably at. You know who was playing in Timberlands this week? I don't know where the fuck he was, but Scotty Barnes posted something on his Instagram of him in a hardware store, I think, wearing Timberlands, playing on a basketball court with an orange vest on, like a safety vest on. And he's like, yeah, I'm playing in my Timberlands. So he was playing in his Timberlands, I think at a Home Depot or something like that. I don't know if he was at Lowe's or something like that. It looked like it. You go look at Scotty Barnes' Instagram, and it looks like he's playing at a hardware store in Timberlands. I don't know what's going on there. J.O. saying, are you going to be live streaming the Sixers Rap series? No, I won't be live streaming any current content stuff. Basically, the way my channel goes is every morning around 9:30, I go live and I'm either previewing the game. Like on Saturday morning, I'll preview the game for Saturday night. And then on Sunday morning, I'll come in and react to it. So I'll do like a reaction stream on Sunday morning, depending on, how it went down, whether you guys win or we win. We'll talk about all that and strategize how it's going to go and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how it basically goes with the games. Is I tried to live stream during the All-Star weekend, and I have a lag, and the lag was just too much. And plus, there's problems like what I'm having today with doing stuff. I'm really inept with technology. So I'm really learning this stuff as a 40-year-old guy. Is not good with technology like young people seem to have a very inherent, easy way into it. And me, sometimes it doesn't make sense. Okay, Vince is getting interviewed, so they must have won. Let's see what he's saying. We just have to play hard. We lack experience.
That's what I've been saying all along. We have to play together, regardless of how many points I put up, Alvin, Jerome, Antonio. We have to play together because right now we're playing a great team who can score.
And how important was it, though, to come in here and seal at least one game?
Very. We're the 5th seed. They're the number 1 seed, so they have the advantage of paper. So
they're the 5th seed, and we're the 5th seed, and they're the number 1 seed. Is what he said.
You have 35 years, 36, but you come out with a game-1 win.
Well, I'll take that any day. I'll take it any day.
All right, Memphis looks so young. It's crazy.
10 of his 35 in the fourth quarter.
10 of his 35 in the fourth. That's McKee. Oh, if that gone in, they would have won. Oh my gosh.
Not able to hit. And the 76ers, who lost the opener of the series against Indiana, find themselves
3-point win, Raptors. Beat the Sixers. Woo! Yes, Dell. Allen Iverson hitting the floor. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Watch along with me today. I know we kind of talked about everything and didn't pay as much attention to the game as normal, but that's fine. I'll be back tomorrow for Thursday Think Tank. We'll be here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m., talking about what's going on with the first round of the series with the Raptors against the Sixers. It's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. I appreciate you being here, J.O. It's great to have somebody from the other fan nation here interacting with us in a nice, friendly way, respectful way. We appreciate y'all, too. The NBA is a big family, and we're glad to have you here, man. I know I missed the old school broadcast. Nice talking with you in the chat. Yeah, no problem, man. Have a great Wednesday. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow. You subscribe. Hey, come on in and see what we're talking about. Maybe you can tell the rest of the Sixers the intel you're finding out from Raptors Nation here. All right, guys, have a great day. Let's go, Raptors. Game 1, 6 o'clock Saturday in Philadelphia, Toronto against the Sixers. It's going to be a fun series. May the best team win, J.O. All right, y'all. Let's go, Raptors. Yeah.